ladies and gentlemen, super stoked to be bringing back the Idol podcast. We've just finished up episode 6 with the wonderful Miss Riot, Tanya, Ruben, and Khalil. Awesome episode, super keen for you to see it. But first, we do have to remind you... Wait! There's more! That Miss Riot will in fact be opening for us at our gig on the 29th of June at the Black Bear Lodge. Super important that you grab your tickets. You can grab those from the description below, possibly on the screen as well, and also at our Instagram bio or the Eventbrite website. There's $12, super cheap, and you get to see us, Ivy, Miss Riot, and Hatless. That's value, baby. That's value.
That's bang for your buck.
Otherwise, enjoy the podcast, and we'll see you at Black Bear Lodge on the 29th of June. Fucking one of those has to be good enough.
Well, should we crack in then?
We probably should, but I always find when you try to do the thing where you're like, oh, now is the start, then for some reason it changes the energy of how you...
Yeah, you put on your advertiser voice and all that shit.
Yeah. But
you feel like you're putting on the show almost.
Correct. Yeah. It's like, I don't know if you ever had to record like an advertisement for something and you'd be like, hey guys, we're doing... And then you're like, I've never said that into a phone like ever in my life. And it just comes off completely wrong. So
the moment the phone camera has to be turned around, you're like, I need to tell people there's tickets to be sold or whatever. You're just like, hey guys, how's it going? You're like, well...
Why does the voice go up there? Yeah. So...
All right. Well,
this is the first time we're doing this as a duo too, as a two-piece.
Yeah.
So
normally produce this show. I
feel like being the front man of our band, I should let you do our little introduction.
Well, I mean, you normally do it in a great way, which is, how about you guys introduce yourselves as the band? Whoever wants to take position as ringleader there.
Yeah, no, we are Miss Riot, and it's I'm Khalil. I'm the bass player. This is Tanya. I'll let the other guys introduce them.
It's like the Wiggles.
The bass player. Gosh.
Yeah, stand next to the drummer.
Every time.
The other guy hangs out with the musos.
I'm Khalil. I'm the bass player. Stand next to the drummer and look pretty. This is Tanya.
Hello, I'm Tanya. I'm one of the lead singers. Grace is the other one. Yeah, that's me.
Rad.
And I'm Ruben, probably the most average guitar player you'll ever
That is such a lie.
Too
The
modest.
moment I hear that, it's like, this dude's going to shred. For sure.
Yeah.
Literally everyone will be like, that guitarist, he's incredible. Like he just stands there and it looks like he's just...
I mean, the first thing that I thought when you said that was, I've heard the single. And that guitar playing is rad.
Yeah.
So,
I appreciate it. I'm humbled.
Well, that's also Jules, the other guitar player. We have to...
Yeah.
So we've got my brother Levi, who plays on drums, and we got Jules on rhythm guitar, and Grace, who's the other lead vocalist. So we've trying to hit a pretty niche market with having two singers out front. So it's it's great. Usually the songs are structured. Tanya will take a verse, Grace will take a verse, and then we'll harmonise with each other. They'll harmonise with each other and all that. And it's
how hard is that live through a bad speaker? Because I've tried to harmonise with people before, and you're just like, ooh, where's the note?
Oh my god, yeah. We try very hard to get really good fallback. Because it will just be like, pump me up as much as you can. And it will be to the point where we're like, we need you to keep going. Like as much as you can without, oh my god. Sorry.
That's all right.
We've had an intruder, we've had a rush.
We've had got a sleeper agent.
Oh, stop it. I actually can't.
So let him get it out of his system and then I'll get Eliza there.
I'm probably the worst. Oh, yes, you can come with me. That's okay. I'm probably the worst person to have to go around. I can't even deal.
What's his name?
Monty.
Monty.
He's the biggest attention seeker you'll ever meet in your life.
Oh, bless him.
All right.
Okay.
Put him on the deck. Yeah. All right.
But no,
Got that out of the way.
It is pretty difficult trying to get just to work with each other. But me and Grace have been singing together for a really long time. We were in a high school band together, and we know how each other work, and we can like feel where
it just works.
we've just we just blend really well.
Yeah.
And we've just learned how to do that over time. So.
What's it like writing as a 6-piece band? Like, are you just all throwing parts in the rehearsal process, or is it like someone's got the first bit and then the lyrics and stuff are put on? Like, talk me through how a song's made.
Well, yeah, generally, I usually like come up with like a riff or like a general sort of song idea, mainly just like the instrumental sort of stuff. And yeah, usually, yeah, if I sort of think it's sort of up to scratch with the band sound or whatever, bring it to rehearsal and pitch it to them, and then everyone sort of like pitches in their own sort of ideas and you know, just brings in their own like individual styles into the song, and then we get that sort of tight, and then usually the girls then go and write their own lyrics and everything. I try not to touch the lyrics too much because I find I'm not that awesome at it, and two I think it's great whenever the singers come up with their own lyrics and melody lines and everything, because you can write a song and it's not necessarily suited to whoever's voice or whatever. So I kind of like the idea of the singers just coming up with lyrics and a melody line that suits their own sort of vocal range and everything, and you know, 10 times out of 10 it usually works. So
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Do you ever get to the bit, he does it to me all the time, where you're like, you'll hear the lyrics and you're like, there's one line there that's just a little sticky, or do you just go, whatever it is, it is?
No, it's purely well, I'm a pretty creative person in the sense where I believe in someone's creative vision.
Cool.
and all that.
Okay, yeah. So it's
yeah,
very
when
much just giving them the
just
thing
give
and
it to them and just let them do whatever they want to do to it,
Right.
and it's great. These guys always do a great
Well,
job.
Grace and I are probably the most pickiest people ever, and we will just be like, cut that, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And we will say it to like everyone here. We'll be like, maybe we can do this instead, because we are very picky.
Yeah.
So we put a lot of effort to make it the best that we can for us, but also like when we first had Summer Sonic, Ruben actually wrote the lyrics.
Yeah.
Well, and Hamish, which shout out to Hamish. He actually did everything. And then Grace and I kind of changed the melody of the lyrics a bit more to what suited us. Loved how it was originally, but it's just like we were very picky about every little thing, and we were like, it could be better like this. And then when we added the harmonies, we were like, oh my gosh, this could be even better like this. So we are pretty picky, and that's how we like to write. Is just
And
like as much as it
are
can
you
be
two
good.
writing lyrics together, or are you coming up with a verse and then like throwing an idea here, or?
It depends on. It really depends. We can do it both ways, where we do a verse each.
Yeah.
But we like to work together, just in case, like, say one of us is not there, and the other person has to sing it alone by themselves.
Gotcha.
We want them to like how it sounds with their voice as well.
Yeah.
So we do like to do it together. And it's easier. It's honestly just easier to write it together, because you can be like, what rhymes with this? And they'll be like, this rhymes with that. And we'll be like, oh my gosh, we made a song. Like, that's kind of just how we are.
That is kind of how it happens too.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
So,
Yeah.
like,
I love to hear a singer say, this rhymes with this, because it's so nice to hear rhymes. I don't know. You hear songs sometimes and you're like, why didn't you go for the obvious rhyme there or
Yeah.
something, you know? Like, yeah.
I mean, I guess in like indie music, people try to do something completely different. And I'm like, it's cool, but like in my brain, it just feels right to rhyme.
And do you find that when you're rhyming, like it's easier to remember the lyrics when you're playing them on stage, because you're like, I know what rhymes with the next bit. I know how this flows.
Exactly. Yeah.
How high are these mics gained?
They're quite warm. I mean, it won't be a problem. But yeah, I mean, if you feel that you want to, just the front of it, it should have Audio Technica there, and just have that to the mouth.
Perfect.
Yeah, right.
Just in case, because sometimes if we got to push it up, it's going to pick up the room as well. So should be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem.
We have the luxury of, we like, you know, when you go to someone's house, or you guys probably maybe know this more, you give like the person visiting the shitty controller.
Oh, man.
we stole the the stands. So
Classic.
yeah. I will say
There were stands coming. No, I'm gonna rant at Aramex today. I've got the express shipping for it to come today, and they're like, yeah, it's coming. Yeah, is it just?
Where?
Is it coming? Yeah.
Where?
Yeah. If the courier shows up right, like during, I'm going to be very upset.
Oh no chance.
So,
But
I will say, because you guys are a 6-piece, so 2 guitars, 2 singers, bass and drums.
Yes. Yep.
How do you organise 6 people? And I guess how did you get to where you are now? Because I understand there was a bit of a lineup change and it's sort of chopped and changed throughout. But like, yeah, how do you get the 6 people that are currently in the band to be where they are right now?
Well, do you want to go, man?
As in like how do we all come together, or like just how do we organise around gigs and stuff?
Probably both. Let's start with how you got to the lineup that you have now. Like, what was the sort of progression from beginning up until this lineup now, and then also how do you get physically 6 people to agree on a time, date, place?
I'll let Ruben answer the second part, but pretty much at the start, it was pretty much me and the drummer Levi. And 2 other blokes from the like in high school. Like we're a 4-piece originally, and after that, time goes on and people graduate or leave school and etc. Then eventually Ruben joins the band. We still continue as a 4-piece, and eventually, I think it was our singer pulled out. Our original singer, pulled out of a gig, and we needed a new singer, obviously, on like 3 days' notice. And Ruben's like, hey, I got a mate that actually knows a few of the songs that we're playing. Do you mind if she comes in? And Tanya comes in, rehearses for a couple. We think she's amazing, and we keep her on. And then I think like a couple of years back, we end up playing another gig, and Tanya was just away for the weekend. And Tanya's like, hey, I know a girl who could pretty much do my job as well. Do you mind if she stands in for me while I'm away? And Grace comes in, and Grace blows us away as well. And obviously, it's like, I don't know, it was one of those weird things. I think Ruben brought it to us, but it was like, hey, how would you feel if Grace came and joined Tanya? Because Grace and Tanya sang for us at the same time. I was like, I mean, I'm not gonna say no. Like,
It was actually my dad that pitched the idea to me originally.
Right.
He's a massive
Big Al.
fan of ABBA.
Uh-huh.
So he saw the opportunity there, and he was just like, go for it.
Do you guys consider yourself ABBA adjacent?
Absolutely.
Get me the
The
outfit.
girls, dress up in there,
I want that.
Yeah.
And just ever since that, we've just been going around as a 6-piece band.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess in regards to like, it takes a lot of meetings and stuff in regards to organizing around gigs. We got like group chats and stuff, and sometimes when it comes to rehearsals, you got to bite the bullet and just be okay with 5 people being there or 4 people being there. But it's I guess like when drummer can't make it, it's a bit heavy. We just can't.
We had a rehearsal where everyone had to pull out, and it was just Levi who came to.
Just Levi went to. Just Levi.
We're gonna get our money's worth.
He makes the rehearsals.
I don't think he played any of the songs we play, so it wasn't really a rehearsal. It was just him
he was just
jamming along.
I think I was
Like Pearl Jam or something.
I mean, it is a funny thing to just think of him trying to play the songs. He's like just miming out everyone's parts.
No, literally.
So the band before, she said it was a different lead singer, and then you brought on like 2 female singers. So was the band called something else, or was it always Miss Riot?
It was
Supercharge.
actually. Supercharge.
Supercharge. Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and we played like
We played for like a good year under the name with
literally,
Tanya.
and we played like dad rock music, like a lot of
Screaming Jets.
a lot of a lot of pubs,
AC/DC.
few pub gigs,
Leonard Skinner.
a lot of Jet, AC/DC,
Guns N' Sweet Child of
Mine.
Mine.
Oh, Guns N' Roses, Sweet
the
Child of
classic.
Mine. We've actually Sweet Child of Mine stayed on. So like no matter who the singer was, we still played it, and it was just one of those songs that we just ran into the ground. Like I feel like Ruben
can't
could,
even listen to it.
Ruben could play it with a blindfold on like that. So like Ruben could play the song and the solo with a blindfold on. Like that's how bloody how much we played it.
And Grace and I played it in high school. Like we sang it in high school. So I can't even listen to that song anymore because I am so traumatized from it.
No.
But in saying that, it's been, since we used to play that music, I loved having Grace there because my voice was dying. Singing AC/DC and Metallica and
Oh
Pearl
my
Jam and
god!
stuff.
What about the emo wedding gig we did as well?
Yeah, we did an emo wedding.
Oh, please say more.
That was the this was the funniest experience.
The most random thing. So we got so basically this guy had his wedding and he was requesting a rock band, and I had a friend I was working with who he was her tattoo artist, and she was like, oh, I know a band that could play, and we were just like, let's just give it a go. $600. Oh, great, let's do it. Weren't really expecting what we got, but basically it was just a punk emo wedding, and all they wanted was just punk music. So we got there, and it was the most casual wedding ever. Nobody danced really. They were just kind of like
everyone was on the Devil's Lettuce, just chilling out and
chilling out, and
we're just up here, just like rocking out, and we're just like, what's going on? Right, but it was a really wholesome experience.
It was really nice.
Yeah, it was.
And then they gave us like. We got to the end and they were like, $600, here you go. Would you like some, gummies? And we were like, this is the most random way to pay a band, but
that's so weird. I did a wedding once and they tried to hand me a bag, and I was like, "Is that just like wedding procedure? They're like, we're not going to pay you. We're just trying to dose you."
I like to think that at some point someone was organising the wedding and was like, "Okay, we got the rings, the dresses all good to go. Do you have the bags?"
Yeah, you got the bags.
needed necessity needs.
I just like the idea. There's like a band invoice, and then it's just the bags on top of it. It's like, gotta remember them.
I'm just like, I was thinking, like, do you want us to take it? Because imagine trying to, like, Levi trying to drum.
Trying to play like punk emo stuff too. That's not exactly
like, he'd be so chill. He'd be like, just get on with it. So random.
Definitely the wrong drug for punk. In my head.
Yeah, I feel like I need to be like racing around.
Speed or something.
Yeah.
And that it was an experience I look fondly on. I never thought I'd listen to any of that sort of music, but it really broadened my horizons. Like a lot of Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, even. Really sweet wedding. And on top of that, I know Jules and Tanya and Grace had to make the drive up all the way up to the Gold Coast after that because they were going to.
We went to
Spilt Milk,
the festival.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so tired.
Yeah, Woodford to the Gold Coast. Obviously, you tried to convince people to do that sort of drive. In your podcast. Not something you'd want to get up for, but it was a really really interesting time in the band's. In the band, a really interesting time in the band.
It kind of made us realise as well, we don't really want to do weddings as much. It was so stressful just because that's someone's day and you need to make it the best ever.
Exactly.
And again, getting 6 people to rehearse, like we need to rehearse a lot. Whoa, man.
Caught in 4K.
Yeah, dude, literally straight up. How embarrassing.
It was on mute too.
Oh, was it? Are you sure about that? Are you sure?
Well, seeing as though you said they're not the type of the music that you listen to, what are your influences? Like, what is the thing where you go, that's my jam every day of the week?
Easy.
Because it's always the weirdest thing with bands where you're like, I love this kind of music, but I write this kind of music. Like, we were both metalheads when we started, and we write pretty pop music, so it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Or blues.
Yeah,
And
well,
country.
I'm not talking about you.
Yeah.
Because...
I mean, like in terms of what got me into the bass and stuff, I love. Well, I mean, to be honest, like I started out as a guitar player, and a lot of the stuff that sort of got me towards the guitar. A lot of my dad listens to we listen to a lot of Pacific Island reggae and like acoustic music, everything, guitars and ukuleles and stuff. And I was like taken away by like how like the sounds that would come out of the guitar. And yeah, that was definitely one thing that pushed me towards it. And then I remember, it's super random, but I remember watching a video of a guy playing Guitar Hero. He like 100% FC'd like 1, I think, by Metallica. And I just remember the intro solo. And I was like, holy shit, this is like serious. Like, this is amazing. And I was like, I wonder like if I could do that. And yeah, those are two things that really pushed me towards the guitar. If you ask me now what I listen to, I love my Aussie music. Like I love my Aussie indie music. So I've been listening to a lot of South Summit. They're a really sick band out of WA, I think. South Summit, Spacey, Ocean Alley. I still listen to a lot of Pacific Island reggae, so like Fiji, Mali, J-Boog. Yeah, a lot of reggae though. Sticky Fingers, 100%. My favorite, one of my favorites. Yeah, just love a lot of that reggae sort of vibe. But yeah, Tanya, what do you listen to?
This is going to be the most eclectic taste. I can just feel it.
I love everything. At the moment, probably like, I think the most I listen to is, and this is because of Jules as well, but Chris Brown. Love Chris Brown, Rihanna.
Not even, I'll go on there.
Which, let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
But love the music. And yeah, love reggae. Bob Marley. I will just sit in my
Love the
car
music. Deny the allegation.
yeah, that's, I'm
Did he
saying
do it? Nice.
non-controversial here.
Separate the artists.
Yeah.
Separate the
Really
artists.
up for the artist. Yeah.
And yeah, just like, reggae, indie music. Like we all went to Ocean Alley as a band, and that
bonding
was
experience.
that was such a funny night.
Oh my
That was
God.
crazy. But I actually started out, and this is kind of how me and Ruben bonded a lot, but I listened to a lot of heavy metal and like Ozzy Osbourne, and that's how we kind of became pretty close. Now
Cool, you like
that's-
Black Sabbath?
Yeah,
there we
let's
go.
be
Yeah,
friends.
that's
So yeah, I started out with heavy metal as well. I loved heavy metal, and that's what got me into the guitar as well. But yeah, now I'm kind of like chilled out a bit more.
It's always the way it goes. It's just like there has to be some sort of metal phase as a musician just
Well,
to be
it's
like,
emo metal. It's like emo, and then you go into metal, and then you go into rock, and then you slowly like fade out.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I go through phases like every month. So like like 1 month it will be the Metallica, Tool, Guns N' Roses, all that kind of stuff, and the next month will be like the old school rap. I love my Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, and all that kind of stuff, and then
The old boom bap 90s type stuff.
yeah, no, I
Can't go
love
wrong.
it so much. Yeah, just the samples on all those songs are phenomenal. But yeah, and then same as Khalil, pretty much, just like the Aussie indie rock. Yeah, you got Lime Cordial, Skeggs, Ocean Alley, and all that, and all those bands have they've really helped shape inspiration for us to write our own songs in that similar sort of style. Even though if you come to our show, it's very one extreme to the other. So it's sort of like showcases like our love for music in general. Yeah. And all the different sort of mainstream
I think that's
genres.
a testament to a great band, though, when you're able to be like, oh, what sound do they play? And you're like, well, one song sounds like this, and then the next one.
Yeah.
It's just,
Well, that's kind of like why I like the way we write. And because like when you go to a concert or something, or you listen to one person, like I love Ocean Alley, and we all love Ocean Alley. Indie music tends to sound the same.
Jangly Jaguars and surf rock type stuff can all tend to become this very, very similar sound. Yeah, for sure.
So we like to kind of switch it up because it just creates like this crazy moment when you're watching, and like we've had a lot of people say how it's so good that how we can just like go up and down, because then we have a song where one of our originals, Bruised, is like very mellow. It's very like soft and slower. And then we have Take Me Back, which is a song we wrote as Supercharge, and it's like rock on, like crazy. And you're like, what am I going through? All the emotions, like it's crazy. But I find it so fun, especially even just to play, because I don't want to sit there and be bored and doing the same thing over and over again. So it's really nice that we can do a bunch of genres and hope that the audience appreciates.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I was just like, I was just trying to determine as it flew towards me if I should be concerned. I was like assessing it.
Do
like,
I need to freak out or not?
I don't think it's going to sting me, and if it does, I think I'll be fine. But yeah. Well, so a lot of different sort of like genres and stuff. But like, what was it? You said that it was your dad and stuff playing music that got you into it. What was it that converted you from people who just like listening to music to like, I want to actually like do something with music? Whether it was to pick up an instrument in the first place or to go, no, I think I want to do this in a band.
My dad was in a band my whole life growing up. Mm-hmm. So like, I would be backstage sleeping in the guitar case, like. Ever since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of grew up knowing like that's what I wanted to do. I started out with violin. I played that for like 13 years. So I was like, crazy. And then just, I learnt guitar naturally by myself. Like I didn't do any lessons or anything because all my family members knew how to play and I just kind of went along with it. And then I just knew I wanted to be in a band. I love writing music, but I want to write music for the band. Like that's always been my mindset. I would never do a solo act for myself. Just couldn't do that. So I just always kind of knew.
This scumbag.
Yeah, I'd never do that.
No, like I appreciate that you can do that. That's crazy. But like I would be so awkward because like being me by myself, I would just be like,
it's the weirdest thing, isn't it? When you're writing for a band, you're able to sort of just like forget all of the, I don't know, the insecurities of it. You're just like, I'm going to write this song and it's going to be, maybe it's like really, really confessional or whatever, but because you have the band, you have like the protection of I don't feel weird saying that or whatever.
And it's just so much easier just having other people on stage that you can just be with. And it's so much fun. Like
it's a pick-me-up. I think everyone's there supporting each other and enjoying it and just having a good vibe.
I do think from a writing perspective, and this is a theory that I've had for a while, that sometimes like when you have an idea of how you're going to write towards something, you can channel your creativity into that's something that's a little bit more of an outline. Like as in, I noticed that a lot of artists that I like tend to write really great when they go and do other projects, like because I think they get to... Like, for instance, soundtracks. If you go, okay, I've got a movie that I need to write something for or something like that, and you go, all right, I don't have to think about, well, does this represent me? Does this represent, like, what I feel or is what I think right? You can kind of just write towards an idea and channel that as opposed to having to, like, sort of represent you as a person. So, I don't know, I think that that's something to that as well. And it's like it's easy to write towards something as opposed to just being like, oh, this is exactly what I'm trying to do. So
like you got a muse or something.
A muse, that was exactly the word I was looking for, and it was the thing I should have used to start with. But Ruben, what about yourself? What got you into music?
Yeah. So I got bought a cheap acoustic guitar when I was just a nylon string by my granddad when I was 7 years old. And started doing like lessons for a couple of years and all that, and I sort of gravitated to the bass guitar, and I kind of forgot all of my everything I learned on the guitar for a couple of years, and then I think I was around 11 or 12, and I was going through a massive. I started getting into rock music, so I had an infatuation with the band Queen. And
happens to the best of us.
We all agree with that face.
But no, I remember my dad brought me out into the veranda one day, and he had his Yamaha acoustic, and he taught me the D onto the G chord, which is the intro to Crazy Little Thing Called Love, and I think that was the catalyst for me, like being able to play something that I've been listening to for like how many years, and the obsession started there pretty much, and 12, 13 guitars later, and it's like 6 amps at home, but and then I started getting right into like AC/DC and seeing like Angus Young, for example. We had like him doing what he's doing on stage and with his energy, and it just gave me so much inspiration to become a performer as well. So I like formed my first band in primary school, and we just played like at like lunchtimes and all that kind of stuff, just playing AC/DC songs without a singer or anything. I could barely even play the songs, but but it was it was so much fun. And that's just like little tastes like that. It just always gave me such an adrenaline rush, and just wanted to keep pushing myself at it, and keep performing and everything. And I'm in like 4 bands at the moment, so I'm trying to juggle that, and being a full-time electrician can be a bit tricky at times, but I always think of
You've got the spark, some might say.
Oh, wow.
I'm adding like a sound effect to that.
Oh, mate.
The front door's right there. If you just
I saw the opportunity and I took it.
That was a good one, my man. I love it.
I'll have it be encased in forever. That's fine.
Yeah.
This is your first and last one.
Yeah. See, this is what you get for putting me on a camera. Hide behind them. That's the move.
So if we've got all these kind of backgrounds and genres and everything mixing together, how would you describe Miss Riot? What does it sound like if I was to flick that onto Spotify right now?
Well, to be honest, Spotify and what you get live are pretty 2 different things. But I'll say definitely, we're definitely wear that in Aussie indie sort of scene on our sleeve when you listen to us on Spotify. I'd say the last 3 or 4 gigs that we've played, you do get a better look of where we've come from and what we're doing now. We do it there's a few songs that wouldn't look out of place in like a pub, your local pub, a band playing the Cranberries or Aerosmith, Dream On. That's another one we like to throw in, but for the most part we're in a bit of a transitional period where we're starting to flood our set lists with a lot more originals and just songs that are sort of similar to where we want to be in a few years, whether it's your Sticky Fingers or Ocean Alley or just stuff of that Aussie music scene. But it's pretty much it's really hard to put us into a box.
It's a brutal question because the minute you I always dodge it and just go, what do you think? Because then people just go, I don't know, and it's just like, well, it sounds like what it sounds like. I mean,
oh, you know what it's like. No.
They'll give you an answer.
Bass players. And so with that, so what do you guys have on Spotify at the moment?
We've only got the 1 single, and to be honest, I think that wedding kind of paid for it. We managed to one of Grace's friends at uni does stuff for the QUT record label, Vermilion Records, I think, and we're able to get a few hours of his time, or many hours of his time actually, and a little recorded in the studios over there in Kelvin Grove, and it was a really cool experience actually, just learning how important it is to get your parts down right so we get to go home. And just just recording and looking at it from the inside out rather than the outside in. We only have the one song though.
And was that the first time you guys had recorded a song in its entirety, individually or as a group?
Well, Ruben, I'm sure has a few songs on Spotify with previous bands, and has done a job for a few people. But as the 6 of us, first ever time putting something out there.
Mm-hmm.
What is that like as the singer? Because every time I go to track anything as a singer, it's like, oh, missed a note there. All right, now I got to do this 14,000 times.
Honestly, am I really even a good singer? That's what it feels like. Because,
do you even get to the final exported wave file and you're like, still not happy with that bit?
I still listen to it and I'm like, just turn down this one part, turn it back up again.
I remember when I was mixing the song, it's the first, I was sort of trying my hand at mixing for the first time, just because we were trying to save a bit of money. But I put the mastered version up on the drive, and the girls got back to me straight away, and they were just like,
Don't like it.
it took probably 6 different mixes
so I think
before
what
you
happened,
guys came over, and
we ended up. So he did it a couple times, 6 times, and then me and Grace were like, let's just come over and we'll be there, so then we don't have to do it again. Because like I was saying before, we are so picky and we want it to be like perfect. So we went there and it took us like 3 hours or something.
Yeah. But like having everyone in the same room to like communicate.
Yeah, it was really helpful.
Yeah.
But in saying that, we're not really going down that route where we're going to do it ourselves again. It was very difficult, very stressful.
Yeah.
We'll probably we're going to try and just get a lot of gigs to get some money to record it and get someone to produce it and stuff, because it was so much stress. And just knowing that there's going to be someone there that's professional and does this for like a job will make it so much easier.
I don't know if it will ever take away the imposter syndrome, or the part where you get in there and you just go, I'm a fraud. That thing just like ticks away in your head. You're like, am I good at this? I don't know.
I mean, it honestly, I think for Grace, it took a lot of takes, even though every single one sounded great. It was just like,
it's red light syndrome. That's the moment that button starts recording, you're just like, oh no.
And then you forget the lyrics, and I'm like, I know these. We wrote them. Why don't I know? It's one of those things where it's just, recording is just always going to be a little bit of a hassle, I feel like.
And it's always weird because when you, as Khalil said before, you sound a certain way through a recording, and then you come out live and it's it is different. It's always going to be different.
Way different.
Yeah.
Way different.
And I think there's certain bands that have just been able to capture the lightning in a bottle thing, and it's that sounds like them live always. But for most of us, it's you're just going to sound this is going to be a little gap.
Yeah.
If anything makes me feel better, it's the fact that album there actually, definitely maybe, by Oasis, took them 4 goes to get it right, because they were every time we tried to record it, it just didn't sound right.
Yeah.
And they're and that makes me feel better, because when we've recorded things, I've gone, it's the song, but it's not the song.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that magic dust is that gets into a recording that just feels like the song when you play it. And I don't know. I still don't know. So yeah.
Well, that's what Pearl Jam with the live, that that take is their demo, and they tried to re-record it, but they just love the sound of their demo, that they just put it out as the official release. So
yeah, that's what I mean. I said,
it's a funny sort of concept.
Sometimes the magic just gets in there, and that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, context is definitely everything. In the, it's that whole that whole lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
No 2 takes are alike.
So was it a live, full band recording, or was it drums and bass first over a demo? What was the process like?
Yeah, it was. What was it? It was obviously a scratch track first, and then I think I started, or was it?
Or was it Levi?
Levi started.
Yeah, it might have been you actually, because you had to head off.
Yeah.
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 And then,
try and get
Levi
6 people in the
Oh,
same room.
dear.
He had to leave early.
Yeah.
Stressful. Yeah.
But yeah, it was Khalil. Yeah.
I went. It was just a cue.
Dude, first up as well is
It's
hard basket. That's
It's not fun, and then
Yes, everyone just be like, all right, bass man, figure it out.
And then it's because most of the takes I'd have to go somewhere right after, and it was you're not happy with it, and it's but I have to go, and it's just
That's got to be a really hard drive. The moment you leave that room and you're like,
this is it,
all right.
just turn me down. No.
Kick me out.
Splice the 2 take. I don't know, man. It's just it wasn't.
And then the boys went in. I think Jules did, and then you did.
Yeah.
And then Grace and I were days later. I feel I actually lost my voice the day of recording.
That's right.
I completely I don't usually lose my voice, but it was gone, completely gone. And I walked in, I'm like, hi guys. And it was the day of recording. I'm like, I don't think I can do this. So Grace and I were a couple of days later, and we was just us 2. And thank God it was just us 2, because we were there for 5 hours, just trying to get this done. Oh no, it was with you. You were there, and then we were there for ages. Ruben was just start.
Oh, that's
stop,
right.
Start. 'Cause
She
we were
like
just
gave me a
nah.
quick crash course on how to use Pro Tools and
Yeah.
press the record button. And it was like, yep.
And it was just like, one more for good luck. One more for good luck. And it
Yeah.
just kept going. So many takes. I think we had like, Grace had like 15 tracks. And I was just like, look, I can't even be here anymore at this point.
It's the Word
Delusional.
document with the final draft 7, 8, 9, 10 kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
In brackets. So, yeah,
brackets.
just like
1.2, 1.4, 1.6. Yeah.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can see like where we're struggling to remember because like your brain just filters out traumatic memories. Like just, it was a bit of
it's
it
a
was a
lot.
tough carry. But
Yeah.
we got there in the end, and never again.
And
Never again. We're not doing it
That's it.
again.
I do feel
Only
like
given one.
I do a terrible job of ensuring that we know exactly what we're talking about when we do this because I forget the audience doesn't know everything that we know. What's the song called?
Summer Sonic.
Summer
Summer
Sonic.
Sonic.
Summer Sonic.
And that is out on Spotify right now. That is
Yes, it is.
the one.
Everything.
It's back up on Spotify.
I'm going to
Yes, 'cause there was-
break the cardinal rule here. What is the song about?
Summer.
Summer? It's just, well, I just think, like, is there a story here
optimism
lyrically? Is
of-
there?
Yeah.
It's just about a girl.
Yeah, it's it was originally my mate and I wrote the music like 3-4 years ago when we used to like we were run to like our bodyboarding and then like chilling by the beach and just like jamming on the acoustic guitars, and that was our beach song, and we kind of named it just Summer Sonic because it sounds sick. Just
Perfect answer. Yeah.
and then we were stuck on lyrics. So I ended up, I think like a year later, I wrote the lyrics for it like a party sort of song. Like the lyrics are all about like Summer Sonic drinking gin and tonic and all that. Yeah, but just like partying by the beach in Fiji or something like that. But I wasn't really 100% satisfied with it. And then a year later, I knew this person who did a solo trip to Europe, and I thought it was really really courageous of her to do it because she'd only just turned 18, and booked a one-way trip overseas, and I was just like, oh my god, that's I could never do something like that. That's insane. So I kind of wrote it sort of inspired by like the summer sonic, like being a metaphorical term to like just go out and pursue your dreams, take risks, and just don't let anything take you down. Pretty much, it's kind of just like a pick me up sort of song, pretty much. Yeah,
It's great when a song is just pure vibe.
yeah.
I know. There's a lot of songs where you're like, oh, lyrically it's about this or this or this, but you're just like, it's just cool, man. And
It's just cool.
That's
I
that's
like
it.
it.
You're just like,
There's not really
it's
much else
sick.
to
I mean,
it.
you said it. It's
Yeah.
sick. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to deep it. No. Not at all.
Yeah.
As a season, is summer responsible for like the most amount of bangers?
Amount of what?
Summer as a
summer.
season has to be responsible
Oh,
for the
yeah.
most amount of bangers.
Well, there isn't
bangers,
exactly
yeah, of
many
course,
winter
yeah.
bangers. I don't know.
yeah, no
Like,
one talks about
Unless
winter
it's
in
like
songs anymore.
Christmas.
It's Christmas. Yeah.
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 But like here in
Yeah.
Australia, not
And
really.
fall is just always sad songs. I mean, anytime you hear autumn or fall, you're like, all
about
right,
change.
shut up,
Yeah.
Lewis Capaldi. I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But no, I remember Ruben messaging me when you guys first wrote Summer Sonic, like, would you be keen to sing on this track? And this was like when we were like Supercharged, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, this is sick. Like, he sent me the track, sent me the lyrics, and I was like, it's pretty cool. And we never really got around to it. And then as soon as he showed it to the band, we were all like, oh, this has to be done, like now. We have to get it done now. And we had a few songs already before Summer Sonic, and we just skipped them. We were like, let's just record this because this one is going to be big and we can feel it. So stream it because it was taken down and we need it.
Yeah, so what was
We need the love.
What was the story there with the
Spotify
issue?
It was.
I'm also
some bullshit.
going through a Spotify issue right now with GyroStream,
Yes.
so I'm sort of feeling you. So I want to like vicariously experience the frustration. So hit me.
No, we got suspected for using AI bots to generate revenue. Yeah.
Because it was
Right.
like, because we were getting a lot of streams really quickly.
Yeah.
But we were like, Ruben set up it to be like sent out in different playlists. So like people were listening to it.
Yeah.
Organic.
And it was
real.
organic. Yeah, like we were watching like the stream count sort of go up, and
go down.
you know we went down. We should have been.
The stream
we
counts can go down.
Yeah, we
it
should have
was
been
taken
at
down.
like 13,000 streams or something like that. And
Docking it after
yeah,
we did, like 5,000
it dropped like 2,000.
Every
and
time
then
it hit
2,000 again.
5,000, it dropped to 2,000.
And then
And
they
we-
and then I got an email from Ditto Music 2 weeks ago just saying we've received a complaint from Spotify. We're going to take your song down because it's violating our terms and conditions. And I sent a couple of emails back to them and didn't really get much of a response. And then they finally replied and sort of acknowledged what they did and all that. But then because they've already sanctioned it to be taken off Spotify, you can't put it back on, or you can't be reinstated with the same amount of viewer counts on it. So we just ended up signing up for DistroKid and came to save the day and put the song on that night.
Shout out DistroKid.
Yeah.
In time for the potty as well. Like,
And it's made the song sound even better as well. Yeah, somehow. Yeah, if you noticed it.
I
So
haven't actually.
If anything, I'm just really glad. I'm just really glad that Spotify was able to claw back their 4 cents from those 13,000 streams, man.
Yeah.
They were headed for financial ruin.
It's wild though, because the response, the only rebuttal you can have is, it's a good song, people are listening to it. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
happening fast. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's crazy.
It was really disappointing, but
sharp.
yeah, no, it's back up now and it's streaming again.
Better than
So
ever.
right.
yeah, get on it.
Get on it.
I don't know.
Listen to it. Yeah.
If everyone listens to it, they might think you're a robot.
Yeah, I think we're AI. Yeah.
Yeah.
We get taken down again.
We're not.
Which is well, because I remember listening to the song and being like, it feels very like it feels human. It's the weirdest thing to say. Like, it's live, it's raw, and it's real.
Yeah.
Like,
and you can.
I've heard AI stuff, and you're like,
Yeah.
that sounds like a
That
robot
sounds-
doing that shit.
yeah.
Like,
Honestly,
Yeah, we ticked. I am not a robot. For sure. For sure.
Yeah,
Send me the capture. I'll do the thing. Yeah.
I picked all the traffic lights, I swear. But you could tell in that one that we did it ourselves, which I kind of like because it's like when we're going to record new songs,
super raw.
it's like, you can see where we started from. But yeah, now it's back up. It's good. That was pretty annoying. That was very annoying.
yeah.
it's a great experience to have with the first single too, because I guess
know.
gets it out of the way. So the next one's
guess
going to be
Hopefully,
smooth
fingers
sailing.
crossed.
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed. Don't do it to us,
Please
DistroKid.
go to Spotify.
Well, we talked about the goth wedding, but are there any other honorable mentions for the like weirdest, coolest gigs? Like what? There's always one. We have some
I
like
feel like we've got to do like the taverns. We played a lot of taverns.
Launton Tavern.
Launton taverns. And you've got like that. We're playing on like 3 p.m. on a Sunday. There's that one guy like on the bench, and he's like,
The sweet child of mine thing's making a lot of sense. Let's check it
Exactly.
out.
Oh,
Yeah.
mate.
That's where it
There's
came.
always those ones. I think we what was that one? We did it at like, I think it was Launton Tavern, and we played Smooth.
Oh yes.
Horrible.
And then
Horrible.
it turned into a Tool song.
It-
It was just
Yeah, it was,
polyrhythms.
It was
dragged on for
random
12
bloody-
He
minutes.
was like, it was so random. But there's, that one guy on the bar, and he probably loved it. I don't think he knew what he was doing there, to be honest. But I feel like the taverns are always were the crazy ones for us.
100%.
The fun ones.
Yeah.
And as a 6-piece, how I think we were talking about this before we kicked in, but how do you find fitting onto some of those local stages? What's that like?
Oh, very tight.
just taking each other out with guitar.
I think, yeah. Well, Greaser was definitely the hardest one to fit on. I mean, you know what though? I think Black Bear Lodge wasn't too bad. We've played there once before.
Yeah. It was small, but it was like you had room. Like for us, like we wouldn't be able to probably like run around and like move side to side, being like, you know. But like we still fit.
It's got
Pretty good.
depth to it.
Yeah.
So you can, like, move
100%.
back
You
and
can move
forth.
back, but not side to side. There's limited movement that you
The
can do as a
choreography
6.
goes out the window.
Movement is
on a
just
small stage.
Definitely
yeah.
could not have my ABBA outfit on.
You guys get the like thing happening? Like
Oh, please.
I don't even know what. I think in one of our songs, what song? I think it's like, I think it's Take Me Back. I think Grace and I like pretend to punch each other. Like we're gonna start a pit at the
simulated
front.
violence. Yeah.
Like, we probably couldn't do that. Maybe not. I don't
No,
know.
it wouldn't be a rock show without some sort of fight,
No,
right? Surely.
we've got to
And
create.
why not let it be on stage?
We've got to create a Black Bear Lodge. Just
Yeah.
circle.
I want to
do
see the circle. You get Levi on.
I want to see the circle pit going.
This is Summer Sonic. It's about good times and chilling out. Open up that pit.
Mate, circling the bruise. Oh my
Circling
god.
to bruise. Everyone would be
honestly.
bruised.
Yeah,
Well,
everyone would be
that's it.
bruised.
Yeah, be
that's
broken and
living up to
bruised.
the song name. Yeah.
Nah, but
But no, it does. It's pretty difficult trying to get us all onto a stage. But we haven't had too much problems yet.
Where has been the place that has accommodated a 6-piece the best? Like you're like, this is the dream venue.
I think
gotta be
Crowbar.
Yeah,
Crowbar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
That was amazing.
amazing.
I
Yeah.
still don't-
That was our first gig back.
like in the headline. First
year and
headline
a
gig.
half.
Yeah,
Headline, yeah.
Yeah.
the first proper headline gig in the valley, which
It was
like,
crazy.
Are
And
they predominantly a metal venue, or is that sort
Bit
of
of
gone away
everything.
now?
So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like a big. It's actually a really well known venue, and it
Where?
was
formerly of the zoo
The
fame,
zoo.
which is like
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
like I remember pulling up. I was like, "Oh, it's the Crowbar to the Crowbar," and then pull up, and I'm like shitting myself. I was like, "That's the zoo." Like, that's where Powderfinger
Yeah.
played. Like,
Yep.
mate.
Yeah,
like,
that one was
and,
like crazy. Hey,
yeah, and I was looking at the the gig, like the gig itinerary for like all the people that are playing after us. And I was like, "Oh shit, Dice is playing," and it's like X, Y, and Z, like all these other like just crazy bands that like
What is the coolest one you've had that's like they're playing the next week or whatever?
like the biggest band that played
Or just like,
after
you're
us,
like,
or
we
what?
played on the same stage as insert person. Like, who's been the one where you're like, that's pretty fucking cool? That's...
For me, probably Dice. I don't know. Like they. I don't know. You probably don't know them, but like they're like pretty. They're pretty decent. Like they're a bigger Aussie band. I think they had a song that blew up on the Hottest 100. But yeah, they just looking at that, and it was like pretty surreal. Like realizing that we're sort of working towards that.
I think Ballpark Music played there as
Yeah,
well.
Ballpark Music played there in the like when it was formerly known as the Zoo.
Yeah.
Actually, and the year before that, me and Levi went to like a rap concert there as well, which was like, yeah, shit, that's like where we stood, and then this is we're there now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, the Crowbars, like, I think I just emailed them just because I was emailing everyone. Like you were saying before, like, it's hard to get into, like, place nowadays. So I was just emailing everyone, and they got back to us. And I think what happened was we all kind of freaked out a little bit because it was our first headlining gig, and they were like, "Oh, we need 600 people here," and we were like, "Say what? What?"
yeah, can you pack us
I
out?
don't even-
Can you pack it out, please?
I was like,
No,
I don't even think collectively we know 600 people. So like, we all kind of freaked out. There was a point at rehearsal where like, we were all kind of like yelling at each other. We were like, why are we doing this? And I was like, guys, I tried really hard to get this. And then we were just like, I emailed them back being like, we could probably get like 100 people there. And they were like, okay, we'll just do it on a Thursday or something. When it was a Thursday, hey?
Yeah,
it's a
Thursday,
Thursday.
yeah.
just break even, just
Just try and get some people there. And we ended up getting about, like 80 people, 100 people there, which is pretty good. And that was like incredible. I think that's probably the best we've ever played just because of like where we were and like the people that were there with
And
us.
the energy they were
Yeah.
emanating as well,
honestly.
especially when we did Summer Sonic again as it
they
for the
were
second time at the end. That was
And that was cool.
such an incredible.
Because then they're like singing it back to us and we're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
how do you know the song?
Yeah,
like that's
what?
crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like my mum. She's like, I'm like, yes, mum. See ya.
Throwing the horns up.
Can I say, that's the thing about the venues that I do find very funny, is that they're like, can you get 600 people in? It's just going to be Thursday between 4:30
Yeah.
and whatever. Like, it's going to be the
Yeah.
worst possible time.
$20 cover fee.
The max amount of people, and it's like, I don't know, you're not helping me at all, that's for sure.
That was a big
So-
struggle. Like, because everyone that we asked, we were like, well, I've got work the next day. And you're playing at 10 p.m.
Yep.
Like, that was a really big struggle for us, I think.
yeah.
And that's always going to be the case, I feel like, especially when we're like a smaller band.
Well, even when you think about it, it's like the big bands, you'd be willing to see Ed Sheeran on a Monday night
This is
at a
true.
stadium. Like you don't even think of it.
Yep.
Exactly. So think
I-
of me. Think of me as a big band, guys.
Yes.
We
See
are big
Miss
band.
Right live and fill out a 600 cap venue, guys.
Oh, man, exactly.
Do right by bands.
Some people would fly to another city. You can go to a hotel.
Yeah, who'd do that? What kind of people would do that? Just to see a Britpop band.
Definitely not going to Manchester for Oasis in July.
Oh, no, dude. Far out.
That wasn't like a plug or anything. That was just
Yeah.
that's just pure coincidence because I love Oasis.
That's so exciting.
What's
That's
your
great.
favourite song by him?
It's like asking a painter his favorite color. I think it's just I'm a bit of a nerd for like the deep cuts. So gun to my head, I had to pick. It's one called Gas Panic, which if you're not a big Oasis fan, it's like one of the albums that no one else likes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah. They got a bit more like psychedelic and went a bit more like crazy, and it is a song about like Noel Gallagher's like drug induced anxiety. And you feel that in the music, and I just think it's cool. And then everyone's like, "Oh, do Wonderwall." And I'm like, do that one.
I can't say I've gone too deep into Oasis, but I do like Some Might Say.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the chord progression on that, and just like the guitar work is just second to none. You know, it's amazing.
I've always said like for a band. Now we're getting into.
It's always we fall in the Oasis hole.
Sorry, brother.
I just think they're a band that does a lot with a little, like in terms of like.
And my favorite, I
Exactly.
think, over the years that we've been a band, the amount of times I've been sent a link to Spotify of definitely maybe and be like, maybe we can try and write something like this, eh?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, let me write like one of the greatest of 1990, you know?
Actually, let me look at our. We have our like whiteboard over here with all of our like things we need to do, and let me just read the covers really quick. Gas Panic, Don't Look Back in Anger. Okay, only two. Only two.
You only managed to sneak in
That's
too.
a lot, though, is it?
Sorry. But yeah, I think to that point though, yeah, you're right. Like people, like I will fly to the other side of the world for a band that I like. So to show up on a Thursday night and maybe be a little tired for work tomorrow. For like $12, I don't know.
Us collectively, we've all got to try and get people out on a Sunday night for Black Bears. So I mean, it's one of those things, and you're all going to come, and you're going to buy tickets.
We're all going to be there. Be there or be square.
Yeah,
This is a threat.
and you're going to be
Tanya
singing
will
Summer
hunt you
Sonic
down.
back to them. You're going to do that.
Because you're going to stream it
Yeah.
because Spotify is scumbag.
And you're going to know all the
You're
words.
going to join Tanya's mum in singing along. All right, the whole crowd will be singing.
I feel like, you know, I feel like Sunday is an easier time to get people to get up, you know, because like Thursday, you know, you got Friday, you got to go, you know, wake up. Sunday, obviously, you know, we've got to wake up for Monday, but, you know, you'll be rolling off for Saturday. So it's like, yeah, come on, why not, mate?
It's
just
I
keep it
think
rolling.
the mental block of like, well, on a Thursday I have to finish work and then go do something else. Whereas like with the Sunday, you're putting the problem of Monday there, but you don't do anything else on that day. So it's like probably a little easier to sneak them in the door.
That's what I'm so excited about. Because for Crowbar, I finished work at 5 in Caboolture, and I had to like rush there because soundcheck. Well, I had to leave like an hour early, so I had to take my ATL time, my leave, just so I can like get there for soundcheck at 4:30. So I had to leave at 4 to try and get there at 4:30 from Caboolture. So I'm so excited to just go on a Sunday and just be like, hey guys, I'm here.
I remember at one point I didn't have a car, and this was a couple of years ago. Remember we were playing Soul Bar in Sunny Coast, and I remember we were playing the front room at the time, so it was a smaller room. But I remember I said to you, I was like, "Can you take my guitar?" And I drove there in my Telstra uniform when I was working at.
Come on, man.
Did that?
Internal temp. Internal temp too high. There's nothing I can do with that.
That's cool.
It just says allowed to cool.
All right.
That's
Oh,
all.
well,
We've still got the
we can chill. Yeah. Oh, actually, no. We've still got.
We literally
got
still
two
have
Yeah, we've still got these
complete
guys.
run.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
I see you.
If you're cutting to that shot often, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially when someone's
Yeah.
like deep in thought, and you're just like, yeah, let's just put
Yeah.
Try and figure out
the
who's
first,
talking.
Yeah.
first half of the potty is just on that camera.
Yeah, that's. I'm actually just gonna put it up just that.
Oh, literally, yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's
But-
sick though. Play the soul bar.
played the Soul Bar, and it's funny too because we were saying like, oh, it's crazy playing on that stage. When we played the back room at Soul Bar, I remember I put my pedal board down and I looked and I saw this set list there and I went, what's that? It was the Chats.
Oh my
The
god.
Chats had just played Soul Bar either the
right.
night before or whatever, and I still have that somewhere, and I was like, that is so cool,
That's
man.
Yeah.
fucking sick,
So,
man.
but that was also that weird realization of like, shit, we're playing the same place.
Yeah, yeah.
Like-
you stood where he stood, like.
Yeah.
just- yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
I
a weird
remember us
feeling.
doing what's it called, the Coolangatta Hotel, whatever it is, that used to be
Prince of Wales?
Edamoga. It used to be
Oh,
Edamoga,
Edamoga,
pub, whatever
Edamoga,
they
yeah.
called it now. And the day after us was the Whitlams were playing, and they were doing like a radio thing to get the support act.
Yeah, right.
And we were like, please.
I'll just leave my
And
gear
then-
up there, man.
and then
We'll
we-
just come back tomorrow.
We
and
came
we'll
in the
Just
day
stay
before,
there.
and it was like all prog bands and stuff, and it was the strangest thing to be like, the next band's gonna come on is like Melbourne royalty. Sure, right on.
Yeah, right. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. I will probably throw some I don't know if I want to like
What
get,
clips?
get too we'll get too negative or anything, but like what's the hardest thing about being an originals band that's trying to promote, like what's the hardest thing about it, and what do you think is like what's difficult about
For
it?
all the venues listening, just be like, hey, you fix your
Yeah, and half the venues that are closing as well. So
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, before venues, like it's just the fact that we all have jobs, we all have other hobbies, we all have apprenticeships and uni degrees that we're trying to get completed, and just like finding time to rehearse, promote, find spare moments to like whip something up on Canva to send to venues, to put on our Instagram, and just like that whole social media, just staying consistent while juggling all of these different commitments that we have. But even then, I mean, it's still a trip out to get to play these venues. I will say, like, as far as venues go, I mean, everyone's been super nice to us. I don't know, like, I guess it's just most of it's just on us, like whether it's, getting enough people up to make back the venue hire fee, Thank God we're still yet to we're still yet to
There are the
make.
pluses there.
We've all broken even and then some.
Did not think it was gonna happen.
Thank God we're still yet to I guess be in debt to them, to be out of pocket to them. But no, I mean, so yeah, we're good enough to make profit. So if not, no, but
I definitely think that's probably the hardest thing is ticket sales. Just getting people out on a weekday, trying to do that. I think that's what I meant. Me and Grace, like text each other, stressing out, like we're not gonna get people there. We're gonna have to pay out of pocket. We're broke. Like, what are we gonna do? So I think that's the scariest part. Is like the day before when you've got like 10 tickets sold. And you're like, what the hell?
It's
There's
the
no one
weirdest
coming.
thing that it's like you freak out so hard on the little things, like, no, I have tickets or whatever, and then you play the gig and you're like, that was great, like however it went.
Yeah.
You just go, yeah.
Well, one thing that we find, and I think everyone that's in the Brisbane music scene trying to sell tickets will find, is the day of. That's when people get tickets.
when you find out,
It's or like an hour before the show because they're like on their way in the Uber and they're just like getting their ticket online. That's what we found. So like we're stressing out the day before, especially like when we were first headlining. That was really stressful for us because we were like, we only have 30 tickets sold, and we told them we'd get like 60 to 100. And then like
That's got to be a wild feeling though, being up on the stage or like waiting during sound check, and then you start seeing the people fill into the room, and you're like, they came.
where do these people come from? It's like, oh shit, you're there.
Yeah,
People have risen.
Well, we were in like the back room, like the backstage, and I just like checked the tickets just like before, and then it was like 90 people, and I was like, oh, okay, we did it.
That's got to make the show so much easier to play though. Like if you're sitting there like, I'm gonna play to not enough people and it's gonna stress me out. The room fills up and you're like, we got.
But it's like good because it's also like a room full of people we know, and it's like, oh, you guys came for us. Like that's so.
What's it like playing to in terms of playing to people that you don't know? Do you get that little bit of like hesitance to be like? Do you try and put on a character or anything like that, or is it just like, you're gonna hear what you're gonna hear?
That's kind of how I feel. I feel more nervous for playing for people that we know because they're gonna come back and they're gonna be like, this is what you sound like. But when we play like Blue Water Festival and it's like 1,000 people of people I don't know, I'm like, I'm going to sound like this and they're never going to see me again. Like, that's when I kind of like, I'm more nervous for like intimate, smaller shows of people that I know rather than like a big show
definitely.
of like people I don't know.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
Like we opened for Daryl Braithwaite a couple of years ago.
Oh my gosh.
you're kidding.
Yeah, it was,
Riding
and
on
like
the horse.
I remember we were having a conversation. We were having this conversation in the green room because like we were all just like jazzed, like we were like freaking out because we were like apparently it was sold
That's
out.
so
It was
crazy.
and like because that was a joke we made. We were like, oh, get a ticket. No, you can't. But like, the only people we knew that were there were the 4 people who were allowed on the guest list. And I remember thinking, we're probably going to walk out and there's going to be 20 people. Like, we're the opener. We weren't even on the bill. Like, they didn't even put us on the advertising. I was like, there's not going to be anyone. We walked out, the room was full. And
they're like, I sat down at the piano and they're just eye contact with you. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Oh, hey.
Let's go. Eva.
Hey, mate. Nice.
I'll be honest,
breathing down the microphone. You're like, I can hear your heartbeat in this microphone.
I can see you standing there like this, like, that's not Daryl
That's
Braithwaite.
not
Yeah.
Daryl.
You, mate.
That was the first thing that I said. I'm like, don't ask for horses. We're not doing it. Like, we're not here.
You should have just played it.
But like, honestly,
Daryl
no,
gets out like,
knowing that there was only like 4 people that I could see that I knew and the rest were like complete strangers made that whole gig infinitely better.
Yeah.
Whereas like now with Black Bear, I know there's people that I know at work who are like, oh, you're in a band. And they're like, oh, we'll come. And I'm like, oh, why am I stressing about that now?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, now you're
like
gonna see them
Linda from
every day.
accounting's coming now. I'm freaking out about it. Like, so
Carol from HR is really
Yeah.
going to love what my guitar time
Yeah,
sounded
yeah,
like.
yeah.
Yeah, microscope. Just like,
yeah, Janet from communications is making me think twice about whether I should run that tube screen or not. I don't know. Like I'm freaking out now. So,
it's
but.
no.
What's that head noise like on the way you're putting your gear in the car and you're like, we've got 30 tickets sold. Oh, we're supposed to have 90.
Yeah, no.
honestly, I think when I was on the way to Crowbar, I think I was just like, whatever happens, happens now.
Nothing
like,
to
we've
lose.
gotten to this point, we're going to play a show. It's the day before. That's when it's like freaking out. But then you kind of just like, what can you do at this point when you're on the way there? Like, you're just going to have to play. And I kind of just was like, well, 30 people is not bad at all. Like, we've played worse shows. Like, the
It's always
taverns.
always the room though. They always make the room so massive, and then you're
Yeah,
like, yeah, it
exactly.
feels weird. There's 30 people in here, but it's like you could go to like say the junk bar or something. And if you had 30 people in there, you're like, geez,
Standing on
it's
top of
elbow
each
to
other,
elbow,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Sold out. This is
people-
insane.
Yeah. Well, that was good about the Crowbar is they like cut it off halfway with the curtain, so it was kind of like smaller rather than like fitting 600 people. They were
Yeah.
like 30. Let's close it off. So like that was the good thing about that as well. So we can cut it off.
Also, man, me and Jules, that gig, we were absolutely, it was a noisy drive. We were like heading up and just like, I don't know what the road is, but you're going, it's that road, I don't know, we're about to turn left into the Crowbar, and it was just after waiting for 40 minutes, like gridlocked, you know, just slowly. It's like, oh, supposed to be here at sound check, like just, and then by the time we get in, it's like, oh, there's no time for sound check, so we're just gonna have to go on raw. And yeah, that was noisy.
deep fear unlocked. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Oh.
got there and I was like, how was sound check? Because I was coming from work. Because I was like, can Grace just check my mic? And they were like, oh, we didn't get one. I was like, sorry?
I think we ended up just doing one with Levi, me, and Grace. So it was a bit.
Yeah, so we just didn't get a sound check.
Yeah,
Really.
it was a massive learning curve. But I can confirm we've definitely learnt from our mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's like the gig blood pressure bingo list. Just like bang,
Oh, yeah.
bang, bang,
Oh,
bang.
no.
Yeah, literally. Stuck in
yeah.
traffic, no sound check,
Yeah, no, the
no
fact-
tickets sold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was,
just,
yeah.
all the boxes. But I'll tell you what, the sound people there, like
Incredible.
they make it look so easy. Like it's better than anything we've ever dealt with. Like of just playing music. Like they know what to do. Like they're a lot kinder to you. They're not. I don't know. Like they don't mess around, and they just give you what you want. And yeah, they're just really helpful. Like just all the sound people that we have there, and the mix is amazing. Like I don't know, I've just never been more happier or pleased with, I can hear everyone. I can hear Tanya, I can hear Grace, I can hear my bass, and just stuff like that. It's the little things, I guess, you really know.
It's crazy how much it makes a difference, eh?
Oh,
It's,
mate,
The moment you're on a stage and it's like, all right, cool. So everything sounds like everything all at once. There's no distinction. I'm just going to wing it.
Yeah.
And then being able to go like, I can hear the nuance of what's being played by whoever, It's just so nice.
That's it.
Yeah.
Or, you've got like one instrument blasting through your full black, or you can only hear you and you can't hear anyone else.
The wildest one is like when there's like a silence in the song or like a pause and there's just a hum of like an amp or something and you're just like, okay, never mind.
I do feel like sometimes, like I've noticed with sound, and I don't know, it must be a bit harder when you've got 6 people all trying to like coordinate simultaneously. But like even when we've been 3 or 4, there's always like a little bit of give and take. Like you're always sacrificing something, at least with the sound sometimes, where it's like, all right, I really have to pay attention. But then my performance suffers a little bit because I can't really be into it because I'm constly like, where am I? Where am I with everyone else? And that's come from like, man, we've tried in-ears, we've tried like just going like loud and like I feel like I remember when I bought the in-ears, the guy said to me, he's like, I just want you to know you're never gonna have the exact sound you want always. And he's like, that goes for in-ears and that goes. He's like, you just need to kind of like learn what it is that you're willing to sacrifice. Yeah. And I'm like. I just
Thanks for the reassurance.
Yeah. Why am I spending $500 then?
Yeah. I was like, okay, cool. So that goes for sound people. I was like, what if it was like open heart surgery? And he's like, look, man, you just gotta sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit. So
you get what you're given. It's
but I do wonder if that's because it's the it's the little dog syndrome where it's like you don't get to be the big guys who everyone's got the lights ready for, and like I think it's better.
It's a different vibe, hey. Like in another group I'm in, we did a show up at Jamboree Jamboree. It's like a Scouts festival, and we opened for Shepherd, and
nice.
And they had like their full roadie crew there and everything, and it was insane. Like I've never experienced anything like that where they actually like, you set everything up, they keep note of what you've got set up and they pack it all down and then bring it out to the stage for you. And, and just their communication in general. Like we had a stagehand on stage with us who was in control of our in-ear monitors. And he was just like, he was just the nicest bloke and just telling us, my job is to make your lives easier. Like whatever you need, just don't be afraid to tell me. And it just made such a difference.
Isn't it the weirdest thing that sound engineers are the sweetest guys or the worst human beings you've ever met? There's no like I'm sort of an average guy. It's always like this guy's the best guy of the century, or you're like I'm never seeing that guy again. And if I do, he's gonna kill me.
We played
the definition of like bipolar.
Like we have like 2 friends that are soundies, and they're like the greatest people ever. Like, and then I remember one time we were in a band before the one we're in now, when we were like young. And I remember as I was setting my amp up, I was like fiddling around because I was trying to get the effects loop. And I was like, I don't know what it is about when like you're stressing and you're like, where do I put it? Where do I plug? And the guy literally walked past me, and this dude was like 80 years old, and he goes, "It's not fucking Wembley Stadium, mate." And I was like, I know, I know, I'm aware that it's the Caloundra RSL or whatever it was. Crazy.
But still, like you want to have that attitude that you're playing to 50,000 people. You know what I mean? Even if it's for like a small crowd, you still want to put on the best version of yourself, performance-wise and music-wise as well. Because then otherwise, you're just kind of just gonna sort of plateau. You know what I mean?
Better professionalism.
Do you ever get the I want to impress the sound engineer type thing? I've done that so many times where they're like, "Oh, you guys sound great" or whatever, and you're like, "My life is finished." The sound guy likes
like a real minimalistic sort of. It's like, you guys sound alright.
Yes. That's the best compliment of my life.
I feel like for the most part, it's been a bit of an uphill battle. Obviously 6 people is never it's a Sandy's nightmare. But so far though, like they're just like, yeah, man, all good. And then like we're starting to build that confidence with our fold back and stuff. Like, can we get a bit more of this, X, Y, and Z. And then I think Levi's just started to get on the in-ears, and it's just made his job so much easier. I think I might be next. Might be due to get a set myself.
Yeah, man.
But
It's definitely worth it.
yeah. Dude. I don't know. I'll be keen
Just
to see
blast the bass.
Yeah, just blast the
Yeah. Nothing else.
We're catching some bass from the front of house somewhere, and it's just coming out of your ears.
Definitely end of it.
I will say, I think that's an underrated skill to learn to be like picky in a way.
Right.
Because I do think that for the longest time, I think we're both probably guilty of this. Where like you don't want to be like, can I get more of that? Can I get less of this? And you do it really quickly, and then you're playing, and you're like, no, I'll just deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is something about being like, it's actually, I think it is just a point of professionalism to just be like, no, I do have to be harsh, because otherwise, like I said, you start sacrificing things just to make it work.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, as a singer, you'd know. It's like the minute you don't have a good mix, you're like, oh, cool, I'm going to blow my voice out trying to get over whoever's playing.
Yeah, and that's what like happened to us when we first started playing. Is the boys were so loud, and I mean they sounded great, but it was like to the point where you couldn't hear the singers. Like you couldn't, especially when it was just me. Like I've naturally got a quieter of singing voice than Grace does, so when it was just me, like there was no shot of hearing me like at all. And they're like, "Oh, something's not right. Can't hear you." I'm like, "Well, turn them down." Like I think I can do your job for you. But like. That's, and also like when we first started, like back to what Ruben was saying with like putting on a show, we would stand still and we would just like sing like this, and Ruben would like just play like this, and we wouldn't move at all. But now we've kind of worked on that a little bit, like to the point where in rehearsal, like, okay, now we're going to move like this and we're going to do this. So that's been like really helpful. But yeah, Grace, especially Grace, she's like very like, no, put me louder. Like I remember one time
you got to be so picky with it, otherwise it just doesn't get.
We played a gig somewhere, and Grace kind of got a little bit pissed off with the sound guy. She's like, I can't hear myself. I need more. And then he was like,
VMR.
no.
Yeah.
And then we were like, shit. We kind of angry there, but like we couldn't hear ourselves.
Yeah.
It was so hard.
That's what I said. You get the buy. It's either they're the best and they're like, yep, cool, sweet, or they're like curmudgeons that are just like angry about the fact that they're there for some reason. Yeah.
I'm like, well, why are you here? Why are you angry, man?
Super condescending. It's just I don't know.
I usually found now like I run in ears, and I'll just have like one ear just blasting guitar full volume, and then I'll have like the other one out so I can sort of like hear everything else that's going on stage and all that. Because otherwise, like you're purely relying on foldbacks, and you don't know if the sound, like there's been times like halfway through the gig and the sound's sounding good out of fallback, you can hear yourself, you can hear everyone, and then it just all changes for some reason. I don't know if if it's a mental thing or whatever, or they're playing around with it. But yeah, there's all these like it's hard to figure out. It's a real like hit or miss.
It's both an art and a science, I think.
It is.
Like there's like two different things that are competing to make that performance really, really good.
I think that also speaks to like the if you can get to the point as like a band that isn't necessarily known or anything like that, and you get to a point where you can just sound the same and really good every time without in-ears or with in-ears or whatever the process is, that's when you start being able to like step up the ladder, because you're like, it's going to be the same show every time.
Yeah.
But like that early style, you're like, I don't know how this is going to sound through the front of house. Like they may blow that fold on me, and
I feel like we've been pretty lucky though with like especially when we first started, when we were saying like when we got together and I just went in 3 days before a show. Like we're pretty lucky that everyone is really individually good at what they do. So we had like a year off. Like we just didn't rehearse, we didn't do gigs, and then the first like rehearsal back, we were like perfect because like we know what we're doing and we can like play it. We've
and like
been
understand
playing
each
for
other
ages
as well.
Yeah, we've been playing for like 4 years. So
it's
like
that weird universal language of like a bandmate. You're able to just like look them in the eyes and go, I know exactly what you're about to do, and I'm just going to follow.
Exactly. So like
that faith in each other is a really important thing to just go, I know you've got it, and if you slip, it's going to be fine.
Yeah, so we're pretty lucky in that aspect with like, we've never had a really horrible gig. because if someone makes a mistake, we just work with each other.
we
and
keep playing.
Yeah, we keep playing, and then it's
The show must go on. I feel that one.
yeah, and it's just like we can bring it back pretty easy. But yeah, we're like the boys have been playing before me and Grace were in the band, and me and Grace were playing before we were in a band. So like when we all came together, it was just like perfect, like in sync. We were just like great. So like we've been pretty lucky in that aspect. So like we can play shows with not the best sound. I mean, it's not fun, but like we can do it.
In case of emergency, you can just break the glass and rock on.
Yeah.
I do think though, like there is that thing where just for some reason, if you didn't get like the greatest sound, or everybody was like, "Oh, it was terrible," or whatever, and then everyone's like, "That was amazing,"
No,
and you're like, "No, it was," like you really get like angry at
exactly.
yourself or whatever, and everyone's like, "No, that was awesome. Thought it sounded great."
And then someone records it and you listen to it back, you're like, why are you lying to me? That does not sound
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm like, why are you like, I'm out of tune, like
That's a mental thing as well, like listening back to
recordings,
whatever you've done yourself. You just think automatically, you're just like,
No.
Whatever it is, that in it.
I honestly refuse to listen to recordings anymore. Because I'm like, everyone's telling me that it sounded great. I'm just going to take that word for it. I don't want to listen to anything.
That perfectionist
They thought it was
pursuit,
good.
Yeah, that pursuit of perfectionism is a brutal thing too. Especially because someone will be like, "You do it, I'm masochist." He's like, "Oh yeah, I've got the videos," and I'm like, I would choose to just I choose to think of that gig the way I heard it in my head, and we were on it. And the second that you prove me wrong, I'm gonna be like, I hate myself.
No, you got to watch the tape. You got to just like, you got to sit through and grind your teeth and be like, that bit, got to do that better or whatever.
Gotta run.
I guess the only time I listen to it is when I'm going to post something. And it's good because then I can just pick the best part.
Yeah,
and it's like, I'm not singing. It's
this 25 seconds was really rad. Yeah.
And then like you go out of tune and you just crop it. Just
Like,
this is
You're
where
like,
it
can I
ends.
put auto-tune on this Instagram reel? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, no, literally. My dad's a massive tape guy. Like, I remember like being like 13, 14, 15, even like in the back of the car, like after the gig, and dad's like playing literally playing the videos that he took through it. I was like, I don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
And then it's posted on Facebook the next
He's like,
day.
it's on Facebook. and he's like, well, yeah, see, so you gotta go, do X, Y, and Z, or like, I'll pick up something. I was like, oh yeah. Or I feel like I could have ran through that song a bit better, or been a bit tighter. And I think as well, like just going back to that whole like connection as a band, Levi's like one of my best mates in the band, like, and it's pretty funny considering how
Real Miss Riot's gonna break up on the pod. That's crazy.
We're about to have a
exclusive. Got an exclusive, mate. And it's pretty funny though, considering like how I'm the bassist and he's the drummer, and it's like, like once we're so tight, it's like, like Bob's your uncle. It's just I don't know.
Hey man, that's the thing that makes people dance, man. No one's ever danced just to an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
Oh look,
Yeah.
not to get deep or anything, but I feel like as a musician, like I feel like when I see people dancing on stage to like, I'm like, oh, my job's done. Like I feel like it's a good mindset.
You feel that's a weird mentality. The fact you're bringing it up is like there's been heaps of gigs like I've sort of like thought the same. And you look into the crowd and they're kind of just like standing there, just like watching, just just not really giving off anything pretty much. And then you go up to them after the show and they're just like, mate, that was absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, I loved it. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you. And you're just
like,
well,
did you?
Well, you look like you're in line at the bank, actually. So yeah.
Lining up.
Oh, it's like it's good.
It's weird. It's weird. It's hard to pick up on. I think the easiest way to to tell is if they're watching, they're obviously enjoying it. If they don't enjoy it.
Audience have changed so much over the years too, because it's like, I suppose the minute you see that in the audience, you're like, okay, well, that's cool, because you're like, you like it that much, you want to get a clip or whatever. But you see people dancing and stuff, you're like, you don't care, you just want to have a great time.
Drink.
And then you see the tattered dude in the back that's just like, oh yeah, and then you go up and he's the biggest fan of the band. And you're like, all right.
Yeah.
I feel like the ones that stand there like this are the musicians, and then you'll see them go like, and then you're like,
the Bob.
you like
This thing.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
most
how you
validation.
know. Exactly. That's how you know it's good. When you see another musician make that face. That's like,
true.
yes,
Yeah,
I've done it.
It's sick though. Like,
No, it's good.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like even even if they're just standing there like that, you're having a good time. Like they're drinking. I'm like, okay, that's fine then. Whatever. You're here. You spent the money. I'm not out of pocket.
That's the
Okay.
secret. We're not here to sell music. We're here to sell drinks. That's where you get the.
that's it.
That's cool, though, man.
Yeah.
Just very, very skilled bartenders.
Yeah,
Doesn't require
just
any
We're
going
actually
bartending.
just working for the place.
we're just a
paying.
really elaborate vodka advertisement.
This song's called "Please Buy a Mojito" right now.
Please, just only buy cocktails. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's how we're gonna make it back.
Yeah, $12.
Please buy whatever has the most, least amount of, most margin in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we want you to buy. So at Black Village on the 29th of
No ice. No ice. So you
No
get
ice.
volume.
Yeah.
This is going to be the weirdest question, but I think that there's a great part of it. Who have you played with or like seen in the local that you want to give props to? Like who you want to give flowers to as like bands you played with, bands that you've seen that are like mates or whatever?
Oh, mate.
Because local music supports local music, and I feel like that's the only way people get tickets to the room is like, hey, you heard about these fucking guys?
They know who I'm gonna say. Elsewhere, like without a doubt, probably one of if not the best like bands that we've played with. They've absolutely mogged us in a few gigs.
Yeah,
It's like,
we're like headlining and they play before us.
It's
And
like,
we're like,
yeah,
well,
like-
everyone wants to leave now.
It's like,
You
we're
play
not.
really
Like, what's
good.
the point of going on? You know, like
They're incredible. And
And Joe's band
Joe's
were
band,
yeah.
incredible as well.
For sure.
My friend Ander Canara, he's
He's
probably the
insane.
most talented
Insane.
musician I've ever had the grace of working with, and he can just do everything. It's fully pulls like it's like a mixture of Kanye and Matt Corby, like the voice of Matt
current
Corby.
Kanye?
No.
yeah, no.
You know, right, brother? You know. Damn straight.
yeah, no.
But no,
He's
yeah,
insane.
like he gets up on stage and he's got like his little sample pad
loop
there,
pedal
and he's like looping the songs and all, and he's got like a guitarist that that accompanies him, and man, it's just so tight. I was just watching in awe, just like wow. He's,
We had
incredible.
and Canara elsewhere, and then us for Crowbar, and we were like, how do we even get on stage after
Yeah, it's
those
like,
two?
what are we
'Cause-
supposed to do? It's
incredible.
I nearly went home after.
Yeah, I was like, guys, show's over. Well done.
Yeah.
like
Well
yeah,
done.
and, like Ando can just like switch from folk to can switch from folk to R&B to hip hop. Like he raps at one point. It's like, and it's like not like I'm on the guitar, I'm gonna rap. It's like he's
he's
actually rapping.
Yeah.
Like he's like
Yeah, he's cool.
technically brilliant in that facet of music as well. And it's just sick to see him.
Definitely jealous.
Can you tell?
Yeah, which
he's
is sad because
yeah.
he's moved to Melbourne now, which is like Brisbane's lost another amazing artist. Well, like he'll be back and stuff, but
But
like, it's just
I think good on him. The music industry in Melbourne just seems to be popping at the moment, and there's so many local musicians going down, and I'm wanting to try to lock down there.
Yeah.
And again, like as you previously spoke about before, like the venues in Brisbane, like the facilities and all that. Like it's definitely got the potential to do so, but it's not as enticing.
It's
Yeah.
weird because some of them
Unfortunately,
just sort of like they collapse into these niches and they're like, no, we don't have these types of bands here. And it's
Yeah.
like if you just let everyone in, every venue would stay open.
Yeah.
But it's like the moment you're like, no, we only have this type of sound here. You're like, well, eventually people are going to go, I want to hear something else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
honestly, and then it's
yeah.
like not even this type of sound. It's like no, we only want a DJ. And it's like come
My
on, man.
favorite thing in the
Yeah.
world is having an eclectic set. Like having an eclectic lineup where you're just like, we don't sound like the guys before us and they don't sound like us. That's the whole point. You're going to hear a bunch of
bit of
crazy
everything.
cool
Yeah.
stuff, you know?
Honestly, that's what we were talking about before when you guys asked us. We're like, we're so different from you
Yeah.
guys. Like, crazy different.
But it's always nice because, like, when you hear some, I always think with the songwriting, you don't want to have a song that sounds the same as the next song or
Yeah.
whatever. But it's like you want to see a bunch of bands where you're like, that was cool in its own right, completely authentic,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and that way, that entire like, oh, those guys swamped us or whatever. It's like, just on skill, like they just are performers. That's the whole.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I like it's the iron sharpens iron thing too, because if someone plays an absolute blinder set before you, you want to go out and go, all right, And I'm going to do everything in my power to be
challenging
as good, if not better, as I can.
Yeah, it's like, fuck you, I'm going to do better.
Yeah.
Like, well, like, and you know, obviously, in a nice way. But, it's just...
That's what you're saying is game on.
We don't actually sing, we just fight on stage.
So I open the speed up. It's just like...
So it's really weird that Black Bear gig has a ring in the middle of the stage. I don't know why.
It's like bloke in the structure.
So Miss Riot have been taken off the slot. No.
Yeah, you guys got elsewheres? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they were replaced by Anakin and elsewhere.
No, but I think on that about like, you know, people going to Melbourne, and I know a lot of bands that are trying to go to Sydney as well.
Sydney as well, yeah.
And I think it's because the depth there goes all the way down to like even just the grassroots bottom level. In that even here, if you want to just start, you already kind of have to have something going to be able to get in. Like even if you look at sort of like the open mics and stuff like that, there's pretty few and far between. Like there's a couple of really good ones that get around, but to get to the point where you're capable of being able to get into a venue like that, or like I mean the difficulty bars are already higher, I think. Whereas in places like Sydney and Melbourne, like I said, the depth of venues is going up. Whereas I feel like here we have things just closing down. So
It's the bravery, I suppose, because it's like you got to have bands who are like, we can get 100 people in here, maybe. And then the venue has to just be like, well, that's if that's what you can get, that's what you can get. Because like if you're not allowing bands that are just starting to figure it out, then it's like, well, okay, they don't get a chance to grow ever.
But I do think you're onto something though with the genres
You
of
look
places.
at like the Dregs from the Sunshine
Yeah,
Coast. Like those dudes used to
yeah.
play like 20 people, and it's like now they play stadiums because they sat around long enough and they were able to just be like, no, give us a chance.
Yeah.
Let us have a crack, you know?
Yeah.
Which is crazy because you wouldn't even consider Sunny Coast part of Brisbane. Like it's like anywhere but Brisbane, you know. Like you look at like even now, like you know, around people like you know in that 19, 20, 21, like you see people from like bands from WA, like South Summit, Old Nerves, freaking Spacey Jane as well. Like just everywhere. Like even in Sydney, you go up to Manly. That's where Chanel's from. Penrith have like Sticky Fingers, I think. And just it's just crazy to see. And then just everywhere but Brisbane. I remember, I think it was at the start of 23, was it? We played at the Tribe. There was we managed to secure a gig opening for these acts from the NT, and it was crazy just chatting to them. They were like, there's a Temperamental band, I think. Shout out to those guys. They were like, oh yeah, no, we're like running this at a loss. Like we've done this out of pocket, paid for all of our gear. You know, we've made the trek all the way from Darwin down to here, and just like it's crazy to think like how rough they have it out there as musicians starting out, because there's only two places. Literally only two places they listed off the top of their head. And I was like, Jesus.
Wow.
Bro.
See, you got me thinking too, especially like Perth in particular. If you want to go anywhere outside of, like Perth is actually, I think, the most isolated city by distance from other cities. So you got to think where's the closest place you can play other than Perth? It's Adelaide.
Yeah.
And that's
like across
it's
another
the
border.
half
Like,
of the country.
Yeah.
So, and then so how do you build any sense of like, unless you're doing a lot online.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough. And then you got to try to convince these people to like physically buy a ticket and show up. Like so I think with Black Bear too, with that, we had to like really switch our mindset with like selling tickets as well to being like, you've just got to like, it's basically getting to the point of like begging. You just be like, like if you want to support us, that's what you got to do. Like it's because it's hard to like be seen wanting to try. Like I think there's like this embarrassment in wanting to be seen to want something or to really, really go for it. Yeah. And you want to be nonchalant and be like, hey, we're playing a gig, show up if you want or whatever. But it's like the trick is to be like, no, I really, really need you to come and I want you to come.
Yeah.
So
No, that's the whole thing. Like I think everyone just wants to be nonchalant. Like in this day and age, like it's like you don't. Like, you know, no emotion, or it's like, but like you actually have to put something in to get back to see return on it, and it's just one of those things.
It's the half and half of vulnerability, I suppose.
Oh,
like,
yeah. No, but honestly, shout out to you guys, shout out to the Black Bear Lodge for having us. Like, I know, like that was literally, I think that was our first ever gig.
With Grace and Alana.
Yeah, and Grace in the lineup as well.
That was the Battle of the Bands we did at Black Bear Lodge.
Which is like just amazing. Like, you know, like Battle of the Bands, you know, like you see like just to see like talent and like even those bands that lined up for us. who was it? It was I forget their names, but they were just they're like I don't know, just black. It was just testament to like the genre, all the bases that venue covers. Like I guess it's just a blank canvas, you know, for people from Brisbane to come to and play. You know, no matter what, regardless of genre and like what you do, who you are. I don't know. It's sick though. Like as a venue, I love it, and
it is so cool.
It's
so like old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's old school vibes.
But also thanks one for taking the gig. And two, thanks for coming out on a Wednesday on a Wednesday night to do this. I appreciate that a lot because again, you gotta it's organizing 6 people or maybe 3 or maybe 4 or
Well, like we were like, oh, do we go like all 6? And then Tanya's like, no, go just 3.
We are
just 3.
Yeah. We are just pretty chaotic when they're all together.
Oh,
especially the boys. I'm going to throw them on the bus. But when they're all together, it is just like, you can't... we'll be at rehearsal and it's like,
Just
we might get like...
jamming out to Metallica's One.
They'll just
between
randomly
songs.
start playing. Like, we'll be in like the middle of a set list and then like... Song 3 will be like some random...
It might just be a singer thing because they do that too. They'll just be like, oh yeah, now we're playing I Don't Need No Doctor by John Mayer. And you're like, I don't know the song. Like, what are we doing?
It's just...
I did it to him literally last night. We were rehearsing and our drummer has a deluxe reverb and I've never played through it and I have a Strat. So I was like... I want to play through that. And so like we plugged it in and then halfway through rehearsing, I just turned to Rob and I was like, it's a really nice amp, man. When'd you get this? And we just started talking about the amp and he's like, man, when I plug my Strat into it, it sounds so good. Yeah. And you were just like, and you literally said, you literally looked at me like a parent who was giving me permission. You're like, it's okay. Go on.
I feel like that's literally me.
Like,
I just stand there in silence.
Oh man, like 100%. Like through like every
Get
rehearsal,
out of your system.
there'll be like a little in joke or like a little song that will break out into. Like I think last time it was like No More Tears by Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
I was like playing the bass line to it. Like I was sneaking it in throughout like little dead points in like our songs or run throughs, and then just Levi would start just
it's such a like juxtaposition.
Oh,
like,
100%.
as opposed to what we're actually playing.
It is
so much fun though.
It is so we
should start incorporating it into our shows.
Well, that's how In the Air started.
Yeah.
So we recently started playing.
Wanna...
I think it is.
Okay.
I'm going to speak.
It's on
film now. Gotcha.
Well, we recently started playing In the Air by Lab, L-A-B, whatever you want to say. And it started out because Khalil and Levi were just in the middle of a random song or like in the middle of like a break between something. We'd just start playing it. And then we'll just let them do it. And then they suggested actually... Yeah, well, we never thought it was going to happen, but then suggested actually playing it because it's like a really chill song. So it's a good breakup in between songs.
Yeah,
And
then
it works out pretty well.
like eventually we got into the what was it? Got it to the bridge of the song. I was like, oh, this sounds just like Dreams by Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, and then it just merged in.
And then the girls were like, hey, we know that song, and then just
it was
like,
literally just like
into
one
perfect.
rehearsal.
Sweet. Yeah.
And I think
was like
Ruben
one
wasn't
rehearsal.
there.
Yeah,
Ruben
Ruben
wasn't
wasn't
there.
even there.
And then we were like, oh, he came to the next rehearsal. We're like, oh, look what we did in one rehearsal. And it was just like, he just came in straight
and he
away.
like breaks out the lead guitar part. Like,
and just starts playing it. And we were like, well, this is great.
Like, we didn't even know we were playing the song until like this evening. So it's like, and then he just breaks it out. I was like,
And we're like, okay, now we have to.
there you go.
So that's like what I was saying.
I've played that song for years.
Yeah.
So like, hearing you guys, I was like, oh, sweet, perfect. Don't have to
don't have to
concentrate
practice.
too much.
Let's just do it.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying. Like we just know, like they just know everything, and so we just play it. And we're like, oh, it works well.
That's rad.
Yeah.
How long are we running for?
We probably should actually wrap around, I reckon.
We'll get close to,
Yeah.
We'll go to some like
We'll go to commercial or
easy. Yeah. We'll go to ad break. I always like. I always like to just throw in some like silly questions. I'm gonna do it, like when they do the photos and they're like, do a silly one. That's the question equivalent of this. Are you? I feel like this is probably a question for yourself. State of origin, who are you backing?
That's not a silly question.
Queensland.
That's just you
It's not.
bringing your
Well, it's
sports
like-
show into
Is that even a question you're asking right now?
Like you're born in Queensland, so you should go for them. Like it's a no-brainer. Like I was born and raised in Brisbane, so it's like Of course, I'm going for the Maroon State.
I will.
Going for.
Oh.
I saw that in your story. I was like, Jesus Christ.
I know, I
mate.
saw
You were
that.
like, oh, actually, hey, man, we're kind of
like,
busy on the
yeah, I'm not
29th of
playing.
June.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I will be there, and
Are you going?
yes.
How much for
Jealous.
tickets?
Oh, don't even speak to me about it. No, I'm a Broncos member, so I can get it for cheaper. Because
Oh,
it's
really?
like,
Is it so
yeah.
cool? Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it was only $175.
Oh my.
So
Only 175.
only
I
$175.
would have thought we were paying like 2+ or something.
Yeah, well that's why.
Yeah.
Because it's like normal prices.
If people can pay $175 to go see the footy, they can pay $12 to come and see
exactly.
us.
Yeah.
It's like
So-
that.
Oh,
Just-
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Be
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
Black Bear Lodge.
Yes.
we can play footy.
Yeah.
Maybe we can just
We're into the footy.
quick.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that.
Shared
Well,
interests.
I'll just like fake join the Blues so it can be Red versus Blues. And
No, so
Don't
I'm
do it
guessing,
to yourself.
Why do you support the Blues then?
I was born in New South.
Oh,
So that's fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Exactly.
it's a medical
Exactly.
condition he's got. It's just,
Yeah.
he likes to lose.
Imagine being born in Queensland and going for New South Wales. It's like,
Oh,
yuck.
no.
Yeah, dude, that
That's
turncoat stuff
biggest
makes me
ick.
sick.
That's
Yeah.
disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
That is like
I
my
was
honest-
wondering when you'd get it in because I knew you were going to do it. You were like, yeah, let's make the music podcast about football somehow.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Broncos at the moment, eh? Yeah.
No, don't talk
Yeah,
about
how
it.
about
Don't
them
talk
fellas,
about
eh?
it.
No,
Yeah.
Actually, you watched the Reds.
Yeah, we're at the game.
Yeah.
No, sorry, mate.
Get out. Get out.
Nah,
You leave my podcast alone. You leave mine.
yeah. No, well, obviously, we'll support Queensland. I'll be honest, I'm not a leaguey, more of a union head. So, but I do love the occasional league. I mean, I think I'm the only one in my family that watches union, or probably the only one in Australia that watches union. No, but yeah, and obviously we're all Broncos fans by trade.
I have nothing that will come out of my mouth that would be nice. So
That would be
I
nice
will,
to say.
Well,
Yeah.
don't say it
no.
because I spend a lot
outnumbered.
of money every
But,
year for membership for them to lose.
Look, if it makes you feel any better, I'm a Manly fan, so it's not exactly.
Manly fan.
So it's not exactly making it easy for me
Yeah.
this
Bit
year
of
either. So
turmoil going on there with
yeah,
DCE.
yeah. Look, he's a turncoat. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I think.
Jamal Fogarty is going to be good though. I'm pretty.
I think so
confident.
too.
I think he's going to be good.
Yeah.
I think
Anyway,
he's
yeah,
gonna be-
this is
mate.
the AMP conversation.
Yeah. Anyways, brother. Sorry.
No, go on.
No.
Have you a little moment? No, that's fine.
That was the other question. This is always a fun one. Do you currently, or what is the current name of the band group chat, if you can say it?
It's
Deep respect.
no. Well, we got two because
That's already said.
Well, we got one for business, and then one for like me and Levi to send spam with memes, like reels.
Yeah.
Of
No.
people getting run over.
I haven't opened it in like 6 weeks.
It's not good, eh? It's not good.
I got to the point where we had to create two because these two would just send reels.
You'd be
and
like,
reels
where
and
is
reels.
that invoice that I sent for the
Exactly.
band thing?
And so, we had to be like, take it to a different chat. And then me and Grace left the chat slowly because I was like, I personally don't want to see people dying over and over again.
Like,
Not particularly my favorite
I think
thing.
last week it was like photos of Kanye.
Yes, and they were doing. Levi
No,
was doing it
Jules.
on the business
Yeah.
chat.
'Cause-
Oh my gosh! I was like,
Please, when,
what was it? We said
yeah,
we
no, you or
we were
Jules
saying yes to something, and I
you
wrote
just said
Y-E,
yay.
like yay,
Yeah.
and then Levi was
And-
like, oh yay, and
just
just like,
spammed
we
Kanye.
just started
in different-
spamming. And then
Everywhere.
whenever Tanya would like tell him off, he'd just reply with a yay photo. And that's-
I yell at people a lot, especially Levi. He hits this thing. And I'm just like, ugh. But
You need to have one.
thrives
You've got to have
ringleader
someone
there.
who
thrives
yells.
on
You
it.
have
He
to.
thrives on
Sounds
it.
good, yeah.
But it gets
But why
to
is
the
it the
point.
drummer?
It gets to the point where it's just funny, and then you kind of just forget about it because it's like he's
just force yourself.
yeah.
To,
I'm like, okay, well, you are kind of funny, but like, shut up.
It's always funny when you're looking at the chat and you're like, oh, what are the chords to this song? And it's like, oh, here's the thing, here's the... And then it's just someone getting hit by a bus.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we got a gig next week or whatever. You're like, how do we go back to business
Yeah.
so quickly?
It's
So,
just
yeah.
like trying to get your emails from like I forwarded it on to Cody because he was sending you some stuff, and then for me to go through our messages, I'm like, and it's just reels, and it's just reels, and it's reels, and then I'm like, and then I have to like try use the search function, and it doesn't know what. It's a nightmare. So,
Yeah.
but what is the group chat name?
We have Miss Riot Business, And then we have deep respect.
Deep respect.
Deep respect.
Deep respect.
Which is
So that's
an inside
that's
joke, I
It's
guess.
deep respect. With like a fist emoji.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I don't know. I think
it's like
it
an
started
acknowledgement of just the
deep
utmost respect
Yeah, absolutely.
for each other,
Like,
no matter what. We just
like-
go.
Yeah.
We-
just
So when you say
It's
shit
done.
lyrics, it's like, nah, but deep respect, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. Yeah.
Yeah, no, literally. Or like they'll say like something good happened to them today. I'm like, oh mate, deep respect.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes it can be like taking the piss, but like for the most part, it's I don't know, like it's
You're
pretty
taking
funny.
the piss when you
Like,
say
no,
that?
not at all. Sometimes.
I'm serious.
Like,
I thought you actually liked what I did.
you know,
Oh,
innit?
what the hell?
But
I was feeling so good.
it's like a deep respect, and then you just do a fist bump in the air. That's
Careful, keep the hand close. Keep the hand close if you
Yeah,
outstretch it like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And it's like
That's,
We don't need an Elon on the
Kanye.
podcast.
It's just all
the hand close.
brown
The hand
people.
close. But yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, massive. It was a big inside joke between me and Levi, and Ruben hopped in, and then now everyone else is on it. So yeah, we just call it deep respect.
Deep respect,
Call
man.
it deep respect. Yeah, deep
Nah,
respect.
deep respect for that, man. No,
respect.
Yeah.
Cheers, brother.
All right, guys. Well, I guess that probably comes to the end. So
Thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
you.
No.
No, that was such an amazing.
Where can we find you? The people need to go and follow, like, all that jazz. Give us the details. Where are you at?
We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook for the oldies.
Is there any, like,
Search up.
specific things? 'Cause-
No,
Just
just straight
Riot.
Miss Riot. Yeah, search
That's
it up.
right.
We're on.
Well done. I'm
We're
pretty sure we
joining
have
TikTok
like the
as well.
Idle Minds, and then it's like Idle Minds AU for one of them because it's like
Yeah.
couldn't get the name for some.
Yeah.
I don't know. Apparently, it's popular or something. I don't know.
Well, it took us ages to figure out Miss Riot. I don't even know how it happened. I think my sister was just like,
Miss Riot.
Miss Riot. And I was
Yeah.
like, hey.
Because we were changing our name from Supercharge, and we were just sending, and like we come up with good band names, and then you like search
And
it
it's
up,
already
and
a band
it's
name.
some
It's already
like
there. It's
band
already
in
there.
Birmingham or
What
something.
was it? Oh, we're gonna
Arenas.
go Misdemeanor, and it was like,
Misdemeanor.
and then we saw one band there. It was like, oh,
And it's like a name of a place too. Like a bar or
A
something.
pub, a bar here. Yeah.
we have dudes who write gangster rap, and they're the Idle Minds as well. So it's really funny. We put out our EP, and it was like it got connected to their stuff.
yeah, right.
So you'd
And
play
you just-
through all our stuff, and then it'd just be like the hardest gangster rap ever. I remember my dad texted me once was just like,
This is a new song.
"It's a really odd choice to go from like piano ballad to that." And I was like,
dude,
yeah, it
I don't think you can say that word.
Dude, Pace's flow is sick, but I didn't know. Yeah, I don't think he's allowed to say that word.
Yeah, it sounds like a conscious rap group. Yeah,
Yeah.
think about it.
Funny.
So, all right, guys. Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for coming on the podcast and taking your time to pop in. Super appreciate that. Thank you again for coming. Well, choosing to be a part of the gig. Super excited to see you guys play. It's gonna be awesome. And yeah, for anyone who is watching who doesn't know, we will be at the Black Bear Lodge on the 29th of June.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have said July a couple of times, so 29th of
Don't
June.
do it.
It is a Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll be kicking off with Ivy, Hatless, these guys, and ourselves from 6. And the tickets are available now. So
If you have
Go get
anything
'em.
to
Go
promote,
get 'em.
please
Yeah, and
tell the
what-
people what you got going
and
on.
what's coming up next? Where can they find you? All that stuff.
Can we promote this? Can we promote it?
Promote Ricks. Can we promote future gigs?
Go for it, man.
Go for it.
Yeah,
What
so
date is it?
Playing
It's
Rick's
10th of July.
10th of July.
Yeah, Rick's 10th of July.
Yeah.
Be there. Stream Summer Sonic, Apple Music, Spotify. It's on YouTube if you want as well, if that's how you get down.
You like it?
Thank you
YouTube
boys
music,
for having us.
No worries, man.
Honestly,
Pleasure. Yeah, it's
like
incredible.
we never thought like we'd be on a podcast. Just period. It's just been a great everything from like setting it up to doing it actually. Like it's just been amazing experience.
Yeah.
Great
Thanks,
to meet
man.
you boys. And,
Thank you.
Yeah, we're keen to working with you in the future as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't wait. 29th can't come soon enough.
Yep. Be
Cheers.
there.
Sweet.
Thanks, guys.
Sweet.
Amazing.
It was.
Awesome.
Before you go, I just got to get some feet pics.
I wonder if these mics pick up our fucking knees popping like old men.
This my shit.
Getting ACL going.
Bruise up.
Who's up? Ladies and gentlemen. Hey, guys. Hey, everyone.
What do you normally call people? What up, you low life scumbag?
I'm too tired for this, bro. Episode, can't wait for. Let me try again. At our gig at the Black Bear Lodge. The Black Bear. If you go to their website. Super important that you do. When you fuck it up,
Yeah.
We just finished our 6th episode, which.
Alright, fuck, let me go.
Yeah, you go.
As you can see, my partner here is loving every moment of pre-production process. Now, you better watch this episode, Idle Podcast, episode 6. Watch it. Miss Riot. Deep respect, bit. It's probably too much.
Fucking one of those has to be good enough.